So we've talked a lot lately about Donald Trump and his desire to want to be a dictator. And some folks say that we're pushing hyperbole, that we're taking it to the extreme, that Trump would never want to do that. Yet everything the guy says and does just leans heavily on dictator, because he has said in the past that he would like to investigate Comcast and NBC and MSNBC and potentially have them removed from the airwaves for treason, because he feels like that he doesn't like their content. They spoke out against him, and so he's looking to have them removed, or thinking about having them removed. And now he's calling Facebook the enemy of the people. Check out this clip.
A lot of users, there's a lot of good, and there's a lot of bad with TikTok. But the thing I don't like is that without TikTok, you can make Facebook bigger. And I consider Facebook to be an enemy of the people, along with a lot of the media. What Facebook did with lockboxes, with the $500 million Zuckerbucks lockboxes that he put in, I mean, I consider illegal, but they put people in jail when they spend. They put people in jail when they spend more than $5,600 in a campaign. They go to jail if they're $200. Look at Dinesh D'Souza.
Right.
They put him in jail over a couple of $100. And yet here's a guy spends $500 million and he doesn't go to jail.
Mr. President, though, is TikTok, but do you believe that TikTok is a national security threat or not? Because if it is, and I believe that the emergency powers order that you had put in place at the time suggested that it was that not true?
I do believe that. I do believe it, and we have to very much go into privacy and make sure that we are protecting the American people's privacy and data rights.
Now, we all know the real reason why he's mad at Facebook. He's mad because he got banned. Anytime someone tries to hold Trump accountable or punish him for his actions or speak any word against him, then they're going to be the enemy of the people. But let's take a look at what the guy did. He used his social media platforms to spread lies and misinformation about an election that he knew he lost. Then he orchestrated an event on January 6th where he incited his followers to attempt to overthrow their own government. I personally don't think that he should be on social media. And I know a lot of people would say, well, Brando, that's extreme. I mean, you're not against the First Amendment, are you? No, I'm not. But I am for accountability. And I know people out there who have been booted off of Facebook and booted off of social media that didn't do anything like what Donald Trump did. You know, it's freedom of speech, but there's also accountability to take into consideration. And if a platform says, hey, you did this and we don't agree with it, we don't approve of it, they have every right to kick you off of it. That's not violating your First Amendment right. He has his own platform now. He has Truth Social. He's over there doing his thing. He's still on. I see him everywhere. I mean, as the guy went away, that's the whole thing. They're canceling Trump. Really? We see and hear from the dude every day. He's still speaking as much as he wants to, and he's not in jail for none of this. For none of this. And again, I know people who went to jail for way less. But when he sits and calls Facebook the enemy of the people and other media the enemy of the people, what he's doing is saying, anyone who disagrees with me, that is my enemy. And the funniest part about this to me is how now he's kind of flip-flopped. Now he's kind of softened his stance on TikTok, because if TikTok was to go away, that would just make Facebook more powerful. So what's so funny to me here is watching his followers jump through the hoops with him. I know so many people that was constantly, I don't use that Chinese app, man. I don't use that there TikTok. And the funny part about it was, I've had people tell me, yeah, I don't have that TikTok. I don't use it. But yet they would talk to me about videos that I made only on TikTok. Yeah, I heard you talking the other day about that. I'm like, well, where'd you hear it from? You didn't hear it on YouTube. I didn't say that on YouTube. So it's pretty comical how that they've all demonized TikTok for so long. Now watch and see. They'll all come out and go, oh yeah, I got TikTok now, man. Hell, at least it ain't Facebook. And you'll see them leave Facebook. And they get mad when we call them a cult. But it's because they don't have a mind of their own. They will jump through whatever hoop Trump puts in front of them. Whatever Trump gets mad at. Today it's Facebook, okay? Yesterday it was TikTok. Now it's Facebook. Tomorrow it might be Starbucks coffee again. You never know with Trump what he might get upset at. And when he gets upset at it, they will just jump right through the hoop and just go right with it. Just as easy as can be. I've never seen people who are so easily manipulated and so easily led. I never thought I would live in a world where I would see rednecks turn on football. You know, I really didn't. I never thought I would live in a world where I saw rednecks go out and destroy beer, like just waste beer. I never thought I would see that. You know, there is so much. I never thought I would see good old boys in Kentucky just completely boycott Kentucky basketball. But they did when Calipari had the players take a knee. It's so ridiculous watching them constantly, whatever he's mad at that day, they're mad at it with him. But I really believe at the end of the day, they're still sitting there watching their basketball. They're still sitting there watching their football. They're still drinking their Bud Lights. They still go to the Target with their wife and kind of walk around with their head down. It's just all for show. It's all for, hey, let's get on social media and let's be badasses. And that's what Trump empowers. But I don't recall hearing Joe Biden say that he was out to ban media and ban networks and ban people who disagree with him. Donald Trump can't even take a joke, for crying out loud. He couldn't stand Saturday Night Live. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, the cold open the other night for the Katie Britt video was brilliant. You know, I was laughing my ass off at the dude playing Joe Biden. I thought it was hilarious. And I guarantee you, Joe Biden's the type of guy that would watch that and laugh. Whereas Donald Trump's the type of guy, get Saturday Night Live off the air. How dare they insult me? He is so fragile. That's really it at the end of the day for me. The guy is just so fragile and weak, and yet comes out so loud. He is the ultimate schoolyard bully. He is the absolute ultimate schoolyard bully. No one tops him in that department. And back when I was growing up, I was always told, you got to stand up to the schoolyard bully. You got to, because when you do, they will break. And that's what we got to keep doing. We just got to keep standing up to the schoolyard bully. But man, he is a guy that is relentless. He just keeps going and going and going, and anyone who speaks out against him, they're the enemy. But we have to stay focused on November, and we have to stay focused on democracy, because we want everyone to be able to speak as long as they are not, you know, violating the First Amendment. That's my thing. If you're free to say what you want to say, but you're not free from accountability. That's the whole point. You know, when I was a kid growing up, it was as simple as this. You can't yell fire in a crowded room and pull an alarm. That's not free speech. And I remember sitting there watching January 6th going, well, they just pulled the fire alarm. They just yelled fire in a crowded room. This ain't free speech.